Hello and welcome to another episode on Maritime Radar. Rivers and lakes carry plastic waste from deep inland to the sea, making them major contributors to ocean pollution. Despite current efforts, it is estimated that 75 to 199 million tons of plastic is currently found in our oceans. Unless we change how we produce, use and dispose of plastics, the amount of plastic waste entering our aquatic ecosystem could nearly triple from 9 to 14 million tons per year to a projected 23 to 37 million tons per year by 2040. How does it get there? A lot of it comes from the world's rivers, which serve as direct conduits of trash into lakes and the ocean. Driving conversations that is fast becoming a global concern such as this will be some of the issues that will be brought to you on the front burner on Maritime Radar. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. The devastating element of this pollution is that plastics getting into the ocean could take 1,000 years to decay. As a result, fish and wildlife consume them, and consequently the toxins from the plastics enter the food chain, threatening human health. Plastic waste does not only pollute our oceans, burning plastics in incinerators cause toxic air emissions, leaving people who live close to the incinerators to bear the brunt. Before we get further into today's lineup on the program, let's find out the latest in maritime news.
The Managing Director of Sea Transport Group, Aminu Umar, has emerged the 7th President of the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping, NCS. Umar was elected at the recent Governing Council meeting of NCS, which held on Tuesday this week. Meanwhile, a former Director General of the NCS, Ife Olowookere, also emerged as the Vice President of the Chamber. This development became necessary following the expiration of the second tenures of Mr. Andy Isiche as President and Ahmed Tijani Ramalan as Vice President. Speaking on the new appointment, the Director General of NCS, Vivian Chimeze Azubike, said the Nigerian Chamber of Shipping is poised for greater success under his leadership. NCS was formed in 2002 with the primary objective of ensuring that the domestic shipping industry participates fully in all commercial services of the Nigerian coastal waters and beyond. It is also a member of the Board of International Chamber of Shipping, and NCS is committed through her advocacy mandate to ensuring that Nigerian maritime industry takes its place in the Committee of Maritime Nations. Following an extensive review process, South Africa has been identified as a high-potential cruise sourcing destination for the fleet of shipping giant A.P. Moller Maersk, which comprises 280 fully owned and operated container vessels. The company employs 12,500 seafarers. South African cadets from its National Seafarer Development Program, NSDP, will be considered for placement with Maersk. It is expected that the first cadets will be joining Maersk's vessels from the second quarter of 2023. However, the shipping giant is not extending the same consideration to Nigeria's NSDP cadets, many of whom have been languishing on the maritime labor market. Since inception in 2008, close to 2,500 cadets have been enrolled into Nigeria's NSDP program, out of which 892 have been licensed as deck and engine officers and naval architects. South Africa is considered a high-potential cruise sourcing area for several reasons. The country's proven track record in providing quality ship officers, its favorable geographical location, the existing maritime infrastructure, a vast population, and English language capabilities. South Africa's socio-demographic profile and living cost index also lent itself to offshore employment. 4 seafarers, with the support of the International Transport Workers Federation (ITF), have seized a cargo ship off the coast of Dakar, Senegal, after going months without payment and facing dangers of physical integrity. ITF said the 4 crew of the general cargo ship Onda have been battling to have the engine of their vessel repaired, while port authorities have ignored their request for help for more than a year. Acting on behalf of the crew, the ITF went to a Senegalese court to have the ship legally seized, as its ongoing position near a busy shipping lane left the crew and others vulnerable to a potential collision at night, with no engine to power the vessel's warning lights. In a statement, the Federation said the vessel remains seized until the owners pay the more than $84,000 owed in wages to the crew. The ITF said it is also claiming costs from the owners for leaving the ship at anchor for lengthy periods without providing adequate provisions for the crew, as ship owners are obliged to do under Maritime Labour Convention and most seafarers' contracts. According to the ITF, late in January, the owners' attorneys made a push, increasing their offer to get the Onda operating. They offered the master of the vessel $33,000 in order to get the ship going. This fell well short of the $55,000 owed to him. With his consent, the ITF rejected this offer on behalf of the captain. The challenges for small island developing states of the wider Caribbean region in meeting the obligations for adequate port reception facilities under the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships was the focus of a regional workshop that held in Jamaica from 7th to 9th of February. In her opening remarks delivered remotely from the IMO headquarters in London, Helen Booney from IMO's Marine Environment Division noted that the full implementation and enforcement of MARPOL remains a problem in the Caribbean region, as it does elsewhere around the world. The limited capacity of many states in the region to properly process waste streams generated on their islands was emphasized by participants. This highlighted a related lack of capability to process additional waste offloaded from vessels calling at their ports.
News Central TV, Africa's #1 storyteller, has come with the best of both worlds. With a combination of news app and live TV, we ensure that you keep track of the latest headlines, breaking news, and in-depth analysis from professional journalists from around the continent. Download the News Central TV app on Android and iOS and get started today. Don't forget to follow us on News Central's social media platforms. News Central, Africa First.
If you are just joining us, this is Maritime Radar. Our planet is choking on plastic. There is an urgent need for recycling plastic waste into a solution for wealth creation. It is time to change how we produce, consume, and dispose of the plastic we use. I spoke with Adejumoke Olowookere. She is the creative director, founder African Creative Sustainable Synergy Hub, the Waste Museum on tackling plastic pollution in Africa. Stay with us. Hello, Jamaica. Good to have you on the show. Protecting the African oceans is a necessity, looking at its potentials. Take us through a sustainable world without a waste.
Well, a world without waste, we believe, is a lifestyle. We believe is possible. We believe that every single person that God has created to be on this earth has a mandate and a responsibility, not just to live for themselves, but to live for the environment. It means that in whatever decision you're making daily, you must be eco-conscious. You must be environmentally conscious. You must ask yourself, how does what I'm doing, this decision I'm making, this lifestyle I'm living, how does it affect the environment? How does it affect, when you look at the basic, the three basic elements that God created in the world, it is the earth. When you look at the plants, you look at the animals, and then you look at the humans. And each of these three living elements have their own place of abode. And each person is supposed to stay on their own abode and take care of others. So it means that if I'm living in my house, I shouldn't do something that will affect the birds, the animals that are living in the forest. And as I'm living also, I'm not supposed to take a decision that will affect the animals that are living in the ocean or affect the plants. And so when you're looking at a world without waste, we're looking at a world whereby every basic element, which is these three basic elements, which is the plants, the animals, and humans, living in this atmosphere, living in this environment, thinking of others, not being selfish or not thinking, oh, it's my life, it's however I want to do it, however decision I make that is affecting others, I don't care. No. A sustainable world without waste is a world where everybody, which is humans, most especially, because the plants and the animals are not disturbing us. It is humans that is disturbing the plants, humans are disturbing the animals. And we are supposed to be the superior being that's supposed to be taking care of these things, but we ended up being the one that is destroying it. A world without waste is a world where the humans living in that world are conscious, they're environmentally conscious, they're eco-conscious, and they make decisions every day that is not detrimental, that is not harmful to the other element in that same society.
Okay, share with us your vision of creating an eco-friendly environment where there is no waste. You've mentioned the role of humans. So take us through your own vision in this achieving this.
Our vision and our solution is what we call a 5 R's and a U. We call it a 5 R's and a U, and it means reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, repair, and upcycle. In our dealings and in our exposures and in our experiences, we realize that if every human being in this planet can do this 5 R's and a U every day, in wherever they find themselves, whether you are home, you are in the office, you are on the road, you are on the ship, wherever you are. Once you are a human being and you wake up every morning and you are alive, once you are conscious of these 5 R's and a U, reduce, reuse, recycle, refuse, repair, and upcycle, then that world without waste can be possible. So imagine I wake up in my own space, and today I wake up in my house, and then you wake up on the ocean. Maybe you are on a ship, or somebody else wakes up in the sky, or somebody else wakes up in the forest, wherever you wake up. If you ask yourself, what can I reduce? What waste am I generating? What resources and materials are available for me to use? How can I reuse it? How can I reduce it, for example? I use 10 liters of water every day. How can I reduce it and reduce it to 8? Or even reduce it to 9? Reduce it to 8? Reduce it to 5? I make 5 kilograms of waste. I generate 5 kilograms of waste every day in my space. Whether you are at home, or you are in your place of work, or you are in school, how can I reduce it? That is where it starts from. I'm buying 10 shirts every month, and I end up wearing 2. How can I reduce the one I'm going to buy next month to maybe 3 or 4? That is where it starts from. In every decision we make, anywhere we find ourselves, we must ask ourselves, the material that is available around me, how can I reduce my usage of it? How can I reuse the ones that I bought? I have a t-shirt, it's in my wardrobe. I locked it up in my wardrobe for 1 year. I'm not using it. Nobody else is accessing it. And then I'm buying another one. Why do I have to buy? Why can't I reuse? I have cotton t-shirts in my wardrobe. Then I want to make kadire. I can turn the cotton t-shirt in my wardrobe into another pattern instead of me buying something else. So I have reused. I have a t-shirt. I don't have the use for it anymore. I can turn it into a shopping bag. I have reused it. And then it comes from that level of taking it to another level by saying, okay, I have bought a gallon of a pack of water. I have bought a packet of soft drinks, and I'm done taking it. We have talked about reduce in the beginning. So I'm buying 2 packs of water every month before, and then I will take half, and then I'll keep. How many of us have half unused bottle of water on our table, and then you are done, you want another water? Instead of taking that half one that you just finished taking in the morning, you go and open another one, and so you have 3 half bottles of water on your table. Now you have been able to reduce from buying maybe 10 packets of water to 5 packets of water. Now, the 5 packets you bought, when you are done with the bottle of water, what do you do with it? Do you just throw it away into the dustbin? How many of us have sat down to look at each bottle of water that we are drinking? For each bottle of water you take today, for the next 450 years, that bottle of water is going to be somewhere on this earth because it's not going to biodegrade. It's not like banana peel. It's not like pineapple peel that, oh, I'm done taking my banana. If I throw it on the floor, under 1 month, it will biodegrade and turn back to earth. My bottle is not going to turn back to any form of earth. My nylon is not turning back. My tire waste is not turning back. So we will ask ourselves for each of this material that is from me. Don't talk about your neighbor. Don't talk about the government. Talk about yourself. The ones you are generating by yourself. Are you conscious of it? Where is it ending up? Ask yourself, if I throw it away, where is away? So you start to define the away. Then you move from there to refuse. Just say no. If you don't need it, why do you collect it? Why do you buy it? Why do you purchase? Just say no. Refuse it. Then you have appliances, you have materials in your house that is not working anymore. Instead of repairing, oh, I have money, I buy another one. When you buy another one, where do you put the old one that is no longer working? These are the questions we have to start asking ourselves. And then you move to the last one, which is upcycling. What skill can I acquire that can help me to, in my own space, turn my waste to wealth? Check out my jewelries. Check out my earrings. These are examples of upcycling. This is from plastic bottle, your water bottle, my earring, and this is from your bottle cover. This is simple upcycling. So instead of throwing my bottle covers away, I turn them into jewelries that I can use. For the past 5-7 years, I have not bought any jewelry. I'm making my jewelries from the waste that I'm creating for my house. That is what we're talking about. And that is what we have, the vision that we have for everybody to fall in line with, to achieve that circular economy of zero waste.
It's amazing to know that these dangerous discards can find new life through your vision. We'll go on a short break. When we return, Maritime Radar continues shortly. If you're just joining us, this is Maritime Radio, and I still have with me Olowookere. Before we went on that break, you were talking about the 5 R's and the U. And it's amazing to know that these dangerous discards can find new life through your vision. As climate change intensifies, there should be a cultural shift from waste to wealth. Take us through how you've also shown us what we could do with your jewelries and all that with this waste. Take us through how we can turn this waste to wealth more.
There are so many ways, depending on the kind of waste we're talking about. Now, let's start from food waste, for example. If I ask you now that in your house, if you want to measure the amount of food waste you have, it differs from one person to another. Can I shock you? Do you know that even your so-called waste in your house, from your toilets, from your bedrooms, can also be turned into wealth? It can be accessed by just planning a biodigester into it and turning it into gas that you can use in your kitchen. Wise people now are channeling the soakaways by just installing a biodigester that can extract the gas that is being generated from our soakaway into a cooking gas in our kitchen. Now, let's move from there to food waste. We have different ratios of food waste that we generate in our house. And this food waste, by just installing a black soldier fly farm, for example, or by turning them into your compost, from your food waste, you can turn it into compost. But let's not say you're not even turning it into compost. You can take your food waste, just get some few black soldier fly, feed your food waste to your black soldier fly, which you can do in a bucket. Feed your food waste to your black soldier fly, and your black soldier fly will give birth to larvas, which can be used as protein meal. 50%, over 50% rich in protein source for your chickens, for chicken farm, for fish farm, And you can conveniently do this at your backyard. Now, we started a mission in 2020 for every family to start their own garden. Why? When every family have their own garden, no matter how small, even if it is just 1 bucket, 2 buckets, 3 containers, that means you can live a circular economy life.
So you've already started creating awareness on this.
Oh, we want to train 10,000. We have done 2,500 already. We are going to 3,000 gradually. So from 2020, we have been able to train
what partnerships what partnerships do you have? Do you have partnerships with organizations or government?
Yes, we've been able to secure some partnership with some organizations. We have a partnership. We have a sponsorship from the U.S. Consulate in Nigeria. We have a partnership with International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA. We've also been able to partner with NYSC, National Youth Service Corps. So we train coppers, and we also take coppers in for internship. So they do their NYSC compulsory 1 year at our organization. So we can train them, and they can also be part of the movement for circular economy. And also we have few companies here and there that we've been able to partner with to help them with their corporate social responsibility, which is CSR events, by creating a sustainability event for their community. You know, we have a lot of companies that are using a lot of materials and generating a lot of products, and nobody is giving back to their community. So you are making profit from the community, but you're not giving back. This is also another thing that we do. We partner with organizations and help them to create an event for sustainability for the community that they work in. It can be schools, it can be women in their communities, it can be youth in their community. We've also been able to do this since
some of this waste that is not repurposed have ended up in our oceans. What awareness are you doing to ensure that a cleanup on our oceans?
Over 80% of the pollution in the ocean are from plastics. And this 80%, 70% of it is from land-based source. It means that the plastic pollution that is going into the ocean is coming from land. It's coming from humans. It's coming from uses from land, either from your house. You come out of your house, you throw your waste into the gutter because it is raining, and then the rain will take the pollutants from your gutter to the neighbor's gutter, and then from there it will go to the small rivers, and from the small rivers it will get to the big oceans. And only 20 to 30% of these pollutants are from ocean, which is maybe from the fishing activities, from abandoned ships on the water, from fishing nets, from all these things that they use for fishing. It is just 20 to 30% that is getting to the ocean. 70% of it is coming from land. We're letting people know. There's a prediction that says by 2050 there will be more plastics in the ocean than fishes. So we let them know. But guess what? The plastic is coming back to us, because you throw the plastic to the ocean, the fishes are eating the plastics. They are not. It's not digesting in their tummy, and so it ends up as microplastics in the fishes. And then the fisherman will go. They will harvest this fish and bring it to us on our plates. We are also canvassing for government to include in the curriculum from primary school to tertiary institution environmental conscious awareness and education. Because if we, when we were young, we have learned about all those things, we might have made a different decision. We want the 5 R's and a U to be included in the curriculum, cut across all nations, so that it is no longer just theory, but practical. So we do a lot of intervention programs with schools. We go there, we show them how they can turn the waste into playground, into planters for their garden. We show them how they can use it for art. So we do a lot of trainings. We also do cleanup events. We do cleanups in our environment. We take the cleanups to the market. We do World Cleanup Day. We join the whole world, over 200 countries that are doing World Cleanup. So we also organize cleanup events whereby we will go on the street and we will show. It is not about talking, it's about showing by action that we need to stand up and take responsibility for where our waste is ending up at. Once you cannot define where your away is, then there's a problem. So a lot of intervention program, a lot of educational awareness program is what we are doing. And that is also one of the reasons why we set up the Waste Museum, which is supposed to be a showcase center for circular economy. You know, when we're saying waste is wealth, people may not believe it. But once you see it, and you can feel it, you can touch it, it is no longer news. Then you can see that it is possible. Then you can go back to your own space and do the same.
I must applaud you what you are doing with this Wish to Wealth project, and we hope that we keep in touch with you and see how far you are going with this. And next time we want to talk about investment, so that, you know, when Nigerians hear money, you know, you could make money from this, it will encourage them. I want to thank you most kindly for your time on the program. It's been Adejumoke Olowookere. She is an ecopreneur and the founder of African Creative Hub. Many thanks for your time on the program.
So thank you so very much.
Right.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
This is Africa. I bet you've heard a lot about it. But this is what you need to know. It's the home of the youngest and fastest growing population in the world. This, my friend, is opportunity right here. This is the future, and everyone wants Africa's attention. You need a voice that's African, young, conversational, a platform with the potential to reach millions of people across the continent with content they can relate to, such as lifestyle shows, sports and news, just the way they love it. Imagine all the people you could be talking to on News Central TV. Well, don't just think about it. Contact us for sponsorship and advert bookings. Put your brand where Africa is watching. It's News Central TV.
And that's where we draw the curtain on this week's episode. I hope you learned something. Please join us every week on Maritime Radar as we engage industry experts to propose solutions to the ailing challenges and drive initiatives that will help position the African maritime industry amongst maritime nations. You can also expect the latest in maritime news and industry insights right here. I'm Nneoma Obi-Asualo. Many thanks for watching.